What's up, YouTube? Ryan Denny back here with Denny's Prop Shop. As you can see, we are in our new location. Pretty nice. We moved on from the basement. We are now in the garage, alright? So, a bit easier to work in here. So, I can use, the Dremel and get it on camera. But today's episode, we're continuing the Whiterun Guard helmet. And we are going to be painting it today, alright? Now, a lot of people would use spray paint, and that's not a bad idea. I just prefer hand paint. I feel like I have a bit more control over it. So, I got the three main colors that I'm going to need. Got black, my silver, and gray, because this will make some of it less metallic, because I don't want this sparkling, basically. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and pour them out onto here, and I'm going to get started. Alright, so I'm going to start out with a base coat of gray, even though it is already gray. I'm just going to kind of lightly brush up a little bit of the other gray. It'll kind of give it it'll already make the darker from under kind of pop out a little bit more if I leave some spaces open. It's just going to kind of help out with the texture a bit. So I'm especially going to hit, I'm not really hitting any of the areas that are supposed to be darker. I'm only hitting some of the areas that I want highlighted. I'm going to hit this line that goes all the way to the top of the helmet. I'm hitting that all up because that's supposed to be highlighted with silver, alright? So, that's supposed to be brighter. So, that's some of the areas that I'm going to go ahead and hit. You don't have to be very precise on this part. A little progress update. I'm starting to kind of hit some more of the highlighted areas that I need. Alrighty, so we're starting to get some of the areas that are supposed to be highlighted a bit more highlighted, okay? This is just going to kind of bring out the spots that are usually hidden when it's like a solid color. Another good way to do that, and I'm probably going to be doing that as well, is when you go through and you're painting it, give a slight black line around, paint a little bit of black on your edges, okay? It's just gonna make them pop just a little bit. Now you don't want to do this too much, otherwise it looks kind of dumb, but if you make it kind of fit in and you kind of blend it, maybe rub your finger across it too, might help. If you do that, it'll make your edges kind of pop more, and all around it'll just make it look all that much better. So I'm just going to continue on painting up the areas that needed to be highlighted. Alright, so here we go. We have pretty much all of the parts that needed to be highlighted. I'm going to do the edges after this dries a little bit, so first I'm going to start doing more of the details on the inside of this, okay? Alright, so the next step that I'm going to take, I could go one of two ways. I could either put the silver on and then put some black over it, or I could rub some black on there maybe with my fingers, or in my case I'm probably going to use this sponge here. I'm just going to sponge on a little bit of black, and then I'm probably going to do the same with silver. So one side I'm going to have more designated to the black, and the other side is going to be more silver. Now, as I said before, since this is all supposed to be highlighted, I'm going to use a little bit less black and a lot more silver, because I want this to kind of pop more. Alright, so in the other areas, it's not as important, and I'm probably going to go a bit darker, so maybe more black and a little less silver. But no matter what, you just kind of want to get that layered effect. It'll make it really, really pop. And it just makes it changes everything. It makes everything look so much better. So I'm going to go ahead and get some black up there. Like that. Rub a little bit off, because you don't want to go too much with this. A little goes a long way. Alright, now we're probably ready to go. Alright, so here you have it. I've added a little bit of black. On camera it might not show up as well, you know, I don't know how great it's gonna look. But basically what I've done is I've let the black kind of go over the spots that aren't as beveled in, and I've let kind of the gray pop through, okay? Basically what that's gonna do is it's gonna add like a base of leveling to it, okay? So next up is I'm going to finish up on the rest of this really quick. Not really gonna film that, not really important, it's just the same technique. Just keep that in mind if you're ever doing this. Same technique over the entire highlighted areas, and that's up to you, like what you want to consider as highlighted areas. That's completely up to you. If you want something to pop out more, I'm not going to tell you not to. So I'm just going to finish that up real quick, and then when I come back, we will put the silver. Okay, so now that I've finished up the highlighting with black, I'm going to go over it with some silver. Now I'm going to use dry brush technique, which is basically you get less paint in there, so you're not really having globs, you're just having what's left in the bristles, and you're just going to kind of rub that over lightly over the helmet, and you can go lighter, or you know, you can hit it up a couple more times to get it to kind of show more. And that's what I'm going to do for these parts, is I'm going to kind of go a bit heavier with it, because it's the part of the helmet that is the most bright, the most shiny, and less gritty. It's still a little bit gritty, which I'm going to go over again with a little bit of black after I'm done with this. Same technique, I'm just going to use dry brush, but first I'm going to hit up with some silver. Alright, so as you can see, I've started highlighting it with silver. The parts that need to be the more highlight parts are starting to look a lot better, I think, at least. So I'm just going to finish that up real quick right now, and then we're going to get into a bit more of the darker parts, and then after that I'm going to go into making your lines pop and all of that. So yeah, I'm just going to finish this up real quick, and then we can get into the fun stuff. So for the darker inner parts, I'm just pretty much going to not put any color in there right away, except for silver. I'm going to very, 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 very lightly put silver in there, because these parts are supposed to be very dark on the helmet, okay? So I mean, technically I could leave it like this, but the gray is just kind of boring. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit that up, and then after that, I'm going to start with kind of the what I like to call shading, but it's really just kind of making your edges pop. That's basically all it is, okay? So I'm just gonna go ahead and get started. We will use this guy. Alright, so next up is I'm going to take this smaller brush and I'm going to fill it with a little bit of black, and I'm just going to kind of run it over my edges slightly, okay? Basically what this is going to do, I'm going to move the camera a little bit closer, okay? So I'm just going to take my brush and fill it up over here, just a little bit of black paint. Alright, not too much. I'm going to rub some of that off. And then you take that over here, and then you find a nice edge, like right along here, because on camera I'm sure you probably can't even see that's an edge, so I'm going to see if I can. Now if you're doing a prop that's like all black, you might want to do this in like a silver or something. Alright, so painting is almost finished. As you can see, the outlining makes a huge difference, okay? You can see the lines pop out a lot more now, okay? So we're just going to finish up on these pieces, and then we're gonna hit up the edges, okay? So, these pieces I think I am actually going to do a bit darker. Maybe in between, like the eye socket color and the highlighted. I don't want to go too dark with it, but I don't want to go too light either. So I'm going to start out with pretty much just putting silver over it. Okay. So dry brush technique again. Now this part has a lot of ridges in it, and I want to make sure that those ridges, like the innards of those ridges, sort of stay a bit darker. So as you can see there, it's not like, I'm trying to keep it on different levels, okay? The insides are darker, the outsides are lighter. I want to keep it like that. That's what I want to go for, because that's going to make it more dynamic. So, I'm just going to do the same to the other side now. And there you go. Those two sides, the front, it's pretty much all done. Now I'm not going to film the edges, I'm basically just going to paint those slightly silver and calling that good. If I made a video, like if I filmed that, the video would be too long. But next video is most likely going to be fitting in the bronze pieces here. Like, I'm just going to fit those in, painting that, and then after that we are probably on to our last episode for the Whiterun Guard helmet, which is going to be putting in the yellow cloth in between here, and probably the scale mail. Now, there's a couple different ways that I could go with the scale mail, though, because I found this website where I can actually buy scales, like the actual scales for scale mail, and it looks like the price is affordable. It's like $5 for 100 pieces, and that's probably about all I need for this. I'm gonna go ahead and order 2 bags just to be safe, though. But I could also do the pop can way. So this project might be on hold for the scale mail. So I might have a project in between until I can get the scale mail done. But the rest of it, I'm probably gonna finish up before I start anything else. Okay, so this will be almost completely done by the time that we start the next project, okay? I don't like doing 2 projects at once, it just gets too hectic. If you have any suggestions for the next project, though, go ahead and leave it in the description for the next video. Don't forget to like, comment, or subscribe. And that's all I got for now, so see you later, guys.